I'm doing something a little different today. I'm teaming up with Austin Day, who tracked this song himself, and it's in a genre that I am completely not familiar with. So over the course of this video, I'm going to be trying to do my best to mix it down as I go, and hopefully it's a learning process for you and me. I actually sent Austin a song as well that's more in the EDM or dubstep genre. And he is going to be mixing that down. So there is going to be a video from both of us mixing a song that's not in our genre. So what I have already done is just brought in all of the stems and got all of them lined up to the grid. From here, I'm just going to start chipping away at trying to make everything sound a little bit better. I'll try to explain everything as I go along. So there's like fundamentals hitting around like 55. And usually in EDM music, it's all about keeping everything as absolutely clean as you can. So I'm going to try to lean into that a little bit here. I'm going to use Kiloheart's Transient Shaper to try to accentuate this a little bit more. Seems like this isn't picking up all the transients, so I might try Transient Master Native Instruments instead. Yeah, it seems to clean that up a little bit. Glue compressor. Also, typically I really enjoy having a controlled low end, so I like to make this mono. Seems as if it already is, but doesn't hurt. Yeah, we gotta see if we can't isolate a little bit more of the kick out of this. Clean up the low end here. This is where a lot of the high end is gonna come from. So we'll start with kind of shaping this with an EQ. Mainly, I'm just looking for the click here. Same thing, I'm just gonna try to clean these up. As a fan of making hip hop, EDM, pop music, it's all about how overly clean you can get everything and really try to clean these drums up and keep them punchy and tight. This frequency here is bothering me, it's kind of painful. I just phase inverted the kick in. I think this sounds a lot cleaner, so I'm going to keep this phase inverted. And then we have a kick plus. I'm not entirely sure what the kick plus is, but it's just a layer that's added. And here I'm going to add Native Instruments Bite Jitter. This kind of adds a little top end sizzle to it. All right, we're going to try to get the snare sounding a little better. So this section looks like it's got a faster snare going. With snares in a lot of EDM, pop, that sort of thing, people will add their own reverb to snares rather than relying on the reverb in the recording. Cool. All right, let's see. Cool. Okay, so this is overhead dynamic, but for the most part, I'm just going to taper them off a little bit. Kind of accentuate that 5.5K area. Just bring out the sizzle. Try to bring back some of the volume. And from here, we're going to just kind of rinse and repeat. What I'm thinking is trying to cut the actual room sound, add my own, and reduce the width. So I'll do a little before and after. And then again, put my own reverb on here so that way I can kind of control the room that it's sitting in rather than just relying on the recording itself. Cool, I think that sounded a lot better. What do we have? Mono room, I think. I might not even use this, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what I just cleaned up in the other room. I kind of positioned it how I wanted. Hi-hat. I'm thinking that the easiest way to clean up some of the rack and floor toms is just going to be cutting them out of the recording. Take me a little bit, but all good. I think this is going to be a little easier. I'm just going to find a spot that has a lot of fills going on. All right. Okay, so typically when I'm recording vocals, I'll use a template, specifically this one. So I'm going to actually just copy from here. I'm going to go back to the project that I was working on, and I'm going to paste them in there and just divvy up the audio channels. So now this has auto-tune, kind of a standard EQ, vocal rider, de-esser, deep breather, CLA vocals, VC76, and a final compressor just to even out the volume. I'm going to go through and dial in these effects for one take and then copy it to the other two. I've lost my mind again! So I don't think that this needs auto-tune, so I'm just going to take it off. And here I'm going to do the sweep and pull technique, starting from the bottom and working my way up. I've lost my mind again! It's Saturday, yes! I've lost my mind again! It's Saturday, yes! It seems as if these kind of fry screams don't have too much low end in them, so I think I'm just going to roll off everything. Somewhere around 212 hertz works pretty well. These ropes are lost, but they still leave the road on me. These ropes are lost, but they still leave the road on me. As my defense be set free. That's where the EQ is going to sit. We're going to dial in the vocal rider. On here, I typically will adjust this so that way it has more movement up and down. And then this middle line here, I'll try to position where it roughly hits 75% of the time. Somewhere about there. We're going to work on a de-esser just to make sure that there's no weird frequencies in here that need kind of pulled back a little bit. So I'm going to swap it to sidechain monitor so that way I can just hear the frequency that I'm affecting. Yeah, that tidies that up quite a bit. All right, CLA vocals. The CLA vocals is sounding good. And on the VC76, I'm going to push it to the point where it hits about -3 for the most part. A little more, a little less, it's fine. So that'll work. And then final compressor. So the EQ is going to remain the same and all the effects. I'm going to play all three of these together and kind of dial in the volume of those just to see how they sound. Now we have the stabs. I don't think they sound too bad. I can run you through the effects. Start off with the vocal rider just to tame the volumes to make sure that nothing is getting too loud or too quiet. EQ that rolls off pretty much all the low end and some of the high end. I have a de-esser on here just because it can be a little painful. I'm compressing, blue compressing, multiband dynamics to even everything out. Then a trick I learned while working as a sound engineer. If you take your dry signal and pan it all the way to the left, and you take your wet signal and pan it all the way to the right, it sounds like the vocal is to the left of you and bouncing off of a wall to the right of you. I'll play both individually so you can hear what I'm talking about. Here's the dry signal. Here's the wet signal. Here's both. Here's without. And when you have both of them doing the same thing but opposite, so the dry signal here is going to the right and the wet is to the left, it makes this effect. Finally, we have the dub channel, which I am essentially using the same exact channel as the stabs, but I just have it panned right in the middle. Finally, we have to check out this gang vocal. So this does need auto-tune on it. Simple synthesizer and try to figure out the key. There's nowhere left to... Gonna be D major. I'm gonna swap the auto-tune to be in D major. Try to mix in the vocals. Alright, the last thing I have to do is clean up these melodic parts. I'm actually going to see if I can't remake this piano. Now I'm going to put a quick master on it and we'll see how it sounds.